Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So this is gonna be kind of like a part 2. I did want to do a vlog for like Valentine's Day where I read like maybe 1 or 2 romance books, but the thing is there's 3 books right now that I really want to read, and so I don't think I can read any romance books until I get those 3 out of the way. It's 2 separate series, so I'm currently reading the final book of V.E. Schwab's Shades of Magic series, and then afterwards I'm going to continue with the All for the Game series, which is what I read last week if you guys saw my video. So I'm currently reading this one. I started it last night. It is currently February 12th. I am currently on page 127 of this book. Things are getting really interesting. The first 2 books in this series were definitely sort of like a setup for this final book. The second book I gave a 5 out of 5, and then the first book I gave like a 4.25 out of 5 because it was very clear that that first book was meant to be a setup for like the rest of the series. I didn't realize the second book would be a setup for this third book until I got to the end, but I still really like the second book, honestly, because of like the subplot romance that was in it. I am scared because V.E. Schwab's endings, what can I say without spoiling them? If you guys have read V.E. Schwab's books, you'll know her endings are very terrifying to get to for certain reasons. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna drag you guys along as I currently read my 3 most anticipated books of this week. Speaking of those highly anticipated books, they finally came in. They were supposed to come in on Wednesday, which is what I said in my last video, but they actually came in 2 days early, which I was really surprised about. You guys must be watching my weekly vlogs and thinking she orders way too many books, and you're right, I do have a problem. Holy crap, what is this thing made of? One second, I'm getting scissors. First one that came out of that first package is The Kingsmen, which is the 3rd book in the All for the Game series by Nora Sakovic. If you watched my last vlog where I recorded myself reading for an entire week, you'll know I started the first book last week and I absolutely loved it, even though it is completely terrible. I don't mean terrible as in like badly written, I mean terrible as in like I should not like that book for certain reasons. But if I'm being honest, this is like one of my latest obsessions. This is currently what's been on my mind for the past like 24 hours. Yeah, and so the second book should also be in this next package, I believe. The second book in the All for the Game series, The Raven King. I am so excited because the first book sort of ended on a cliffhanger. You do have to read these in order. Like, if you think these are sports romances, don't think that, because there's so much more than sports romances. Like, seriously, don't dive into this series thinking it's a sports romance like I did. Like, I was foolish, but it was one of the best choices I ever made in my life because I am never coming back from reading the series. These are drugs, not literally. I don't know what Nora Sakovic put in these books, but these feel like actual drugs. Like, you dive in, you can't get back out. I'm being serious right now. Like, I'm never coming back from this. All right, and then the final book in this package, it's not going to be in this video, but I kind of just ordered it because I'm really interested in this series actually. It is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and this is the first book in the series. I believe there's 4 books. I haven't read a Jennifer Lynn Barnes book yet. I know The Inheritance Games right here is like really popular on Book Talk. I have not had the best luck with Book Talk books. I tried reading The Assistant to the Villain last week. I couldn't get into it. I only got 29 pages in and decided to put it down. I did not DNF that book. I sort of soft DNF'd it. I'm not sure this is a TikTok book. I know The Inheritance Games is a TikTok book, but this one I think people just picked up because it's Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I believe this is one of her backlist books. This did come out before The Inheritance Games, right? I won't be reading this one in this vlog, but I will be reading this one and then these 2. I'm actually flying through this and it's crazy because I think I said in my last vlog I believe this was over 700 pages. That was not correct. This is around 640-ish pages, which is not bad, honestly. Again, I started this last night, maybe at like 9 p.m. and already at 127 pages. I'm guessing all these are gonna be 5 stars. Like, I'm being serious right now. I'm guessing these are all gonna be 5 stars because I absolutely loved the first book of this series and I absolutely loved the first and second book of this one too. Mostly the second book, but the first book was really good as well, and I highly recommend the Shades of Magic series. You guys moved. I don't recommend this one. I am being completely serious right now. Don't get into this series. I don't recommend this to anyone. I just really like it for very unhealthy reasons probably. But yeah, before I continue reading, I do have some work to do. I am in the middle of work right now. Don't tell anyone. Yeah, but hope you guys enjoy the vlog and let's get started. I forget what I was about to say. All right, I'm on page 150 of this book. Things are turning into chaos. The world is being taken over by this dark force that was introduced in the second book. They're just trying to figure out a plan plan on what to do, how to get rid of this thing. This villain, or whatever the hell you want to call it, is trying to take over Red London, because Red London, you could say, is considered to be the most powerful out of all 4 Londons. And so is kind of just taking over everything. Yeah, I don't know. That's where we're at. But what I really wanted to say was that before, in my spend a week reading with me video, I had said I would not recommend the Foxhole Court to anyone. That was sort of a lie. There is literally one person in this world I would recommend it to, and it's my cousin. And it's because she's into the same crazy stuff as I am. So I would definitely recommend it to her. And so I did. And so we had this funny conversation. I sent her pictures of the covers and she was like, these are so ugly. I hope they hire a graphic designer for the next covers. And then I'm just like, yeah, no, they didn't. And I sent her the rest of the pictures and she's just like, wait, do you have these physical books? And I'm just like, yes. And it's the best choice I ever made in my life. And so we kept going through this whole back and forth thing and she kept making fun of me for purchasing these like really ugly covers. And I'm just like, these are my treasures, okay? These are my latest obsession. You will be just as obsessed with these because I said so. I don't know, I just thought it was really funny. But yeah, I'm gonna continue reading tonight. I'll see how far I can get. I love Lila and Kel with a passion. They're so cute. They invented forehead touching, okay? Literally every time they kiss, they do the forehead touching thing. And honestly, the forehead touching thing is what gets me. Not the kissing, the forehead touching. It's so good. I love Ishwal for giving them to us. Okay, hi guys. Today is February 17th. I am on page 235 of this book. And while I was reading it yesterday, I kind of wrote down some of my thoughts because if I'm being honest, I didn't want to take out the camera yesterday. I just wanted to read. So first of all, Kel moving toward Lila, like it's the most natural thing in the world. Love that for him. And then Rye and Lila's friendship is like so good. Lila's the first one to realize he doesn't need protecting all the time and he like really appreciates that. And honestly, I really liked reading that for some reason because like poor Rye, he's been like monitored all his life. He's like the prince or whatever and he needs to be protected because he doesn't have magical abilities like everyone else. But it's just like, let the man be. If he can protect himself, he can protect himself. Yeah, honestly, Lila is what both Kel and Rye needed, if you ask me. Lila telling off the king. Girl, go off. Honestly, the king was questioning Lenos, who's like part of Alucard's crew. He's a side character. But the king's kingdom people speak a different language from the nobility and the royalty. So when Lila tries answering for Lenos because he can't fully understand the king snaps at Lila being all, I want him to answer, not you, blah, blah, blah. And then Lila snaps back and is like, well, maybe it'd actually be helpful if you spoke to your own people in their own language. Like, yes, go off, girl. This king needs to be put in his place, honestly. Like, he's been ruling this kingdom for how long and doesn't have the thought that not everyone speaks the royal language? Like, what the actual hell? Like, this king is really trapped in his own little rich bubble and he's doing the same to his son. So I'm glad Rye is like so different and like wanting to go out, see the world, see his people. And like Rye has made the effort to learn different languages, even from different countries. So good for Rye, and Lila can go off on the king as much as she likes. I live for that. Honestly, I live. Okay, couple things before I give you guys my book update. Did anyone else hear about Disney making a Moana 2? No, okay, I'm not okay with that. No, they are not doing that to Moana. Are you kidding me? People say it's gonna suck, and I think the same thing. I think it's gonna be bad, like all Disney sequels. Frozen, okay? Frozen 2 was not necessary, and then I hear a rumor they're making like a Frozen 3. Yeah, but Moana 2, let's see how that turns out. Second thing, I have a mini book haul for you guys. If you count how many books I buy per month, don't do that. For my sake, please don't do that. Oh my god. Okay, to be fair, I went book thrifting, okay? I went to a thrift store with my mom and I went to the book section. Ta-da! This first one on top here, I did buy in store because here's my reasoning. This is me trying to come up with excuses, okay? So this book right here, this first book is a duology. I had always been sort of interested in this, mildly interested. It is a book talk book. I do have a problem. I end up not liking book talk books and then I have a problem with buying more book talk books. Let me rephrase that. I am the problem. I had been looking at this book for a while because it kind of blew up. I had always seen the first book in store and I had always been tempted to buy it. But the thing is, when it comes to the books, I am a shopaholic and I just be like, okay, I'll get this book next time. And then I kept doing it over and over again. And then eventually the second book came out and suddenly the first book just disappeared from stores. Like maybe people just started buying it because the second book came out, the duology was ended. And so I don't know. The first book just disappeared from stores and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I thought I would have to buy it online eventually. And then I see it yesterday in a bookstore and I'm just like, oh my god, I finally found this book in stores. Like it's been gone. It fully disappeared. And so I took my chance and I bought it. One Dark Window by Rachel Gillick. I have faith. Okay, I have faith this book will be good. I heard this was like dark gothic horror sort of fantasy. So I'm really interested in that, honestly, because I don't normally read too many horror books. So the fact that it's like mixing with fantasy, I have a feeling it's gonna make it really interesting. Okay, and then the next 5 books are from the thrift store. The first first one on top here is A Man Called Ove. Frederick Bachman is a really popular literary fiction author. I've never read any of his books before. I have been interested in him for a while. I also want to read Anxious People by him. Next one I have is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. There's two really popular books by Christina Lauren. This one and Love and Other Words by her, which I also have on my shelf. I'll probably read it during like the summer. This is giving like very summery vibes. Next one I have is Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Barron. I heard there was a lesbian romance in here. So a lesbian romance and a fairy tale retelling. I'm so down. Honestly, I always love reading fairy tale retellings. I don't know if I've ever said that before. I was such a fairy tale retelling girl when I was younger. I haven't found too many that I've liked lately. I do want to get back into like reading more fairy tale retellings because I still really like them. I still go back to read like these small scenes in the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. Oh my god, I love that series so much. Highly recommend, by the way. Next one I have is a middle grade book. It's Lockwood & Co. by Jonathan Stroud. I watched the Netflix show and I loved it so much, and I'm so disappointed that Netflix canceled it. Did hear somewhere this is quite a bit different from the show. The romance isn't exactly like it is in the first season. I don't know if it's just going to be a slow burn thing or if there's like hardly any romance in here at all. I am sort of hoping the romance in here will be like Percy Jackson, because Annabeth and Percy slow burn has taken over my entire life. Like if you see my Instagram feed, it's all over the place. Okay. And then the last book I have is part of the Queen of the Tearling series. I didn't actually know there was a prequel book to this series, but apparently there is. It's Beneath the Deep by Erica Johansson. I have the first two books in the trilogy, like the main trilogy, but I had no idea there was like a prequel until I found this in stores and I searched it up on Goodreads and I'm just like, oh, this is part of the Queen of the Tearling series. I had no idea. Okay, yeah, and now on to my book update. I am currently on page 415 of A Conjuring of Light. Again, I wrote down my thoughts because I just want to read. So from where I left off with you guys last time, okay, first of all, Lila, Kel, and Alucard and a few side characters are now at sea to find a solution to their very extreme problem back in London. They took a boat and they're off. Alucard and Kel have sort of cleared up the air about Rye, so now I think they hate each other a bit less and don't feel as much of an urge to kill each other. Thank God, because they've been bickering this entire book. Kel shopping by himself and not knowing what to buy on the mysterious ship and gravitating towards the knives and feeling comfort near them because of Lila. Only Lila can make Kel feel comfortable in a room of knives. I'm just saying. And while Alucard and Kel are shopping on the ship, Alucard finds Kel and hands him a ring that seems to have anti magic on it, which is what Kel is. And because Alucard is the only person in this world, I think, that can see magic. Alucard can see like the colors of magic sort of, and he can sort of identify people through that colored magic. Okay, yeah, but he hands Kel a ring. If I'm being honest, this is mostly just like context for what I actually want to say. Yeah, I just want to say when Kel gets the ring, he frowns and says to Alucard, I'm flattered, but I think you're asking the wrong brother. Kel gradually accepting Alucard and Rye's relationship, I love. Honestly, I absolutely love, because they cleared the air about Rye. Kel finally understood why Alucard left Rye all those years ago. There was a reason. We're finally getting crumbs on why Kel can't remember his life before living in the palace. Okay, I didn't explain this before, but Kel has this mark on him that makes him forget his life before the royal family took him in. And so this ship they're shopping on has this woman that's suddenly like, oh, I know you, but you probably don't remember me. Oh, her ship is very interesting, by the way. To buy something, you kind of have to give like years of your life away. Like she has this device that transfers years of your life to her. Okay, and finally, I've kind of gone to a point in the romance between Lila and Kel where I'm not as invested. Like, don't get me wrong, I still find joy reading about Lila and Kel, obviously, if you couldn't tell earlier, but if you saw my last video, I was like heavily invested, like very heavily. Like the second book was where the romance sort of peaked for me because that's when we got the most slow burn. I do sometimes get bored when couples get together. This book still has 5-star potential, but it is sort of gravitating more towards the 4.5-star region. Still a really good book though. But yeah, I'm gonna continue reading. I might update you guys again tomorrow. It's like 12:15 a.m. so if it's night wherever you are, good night. I knew V.E. Schwab was like a very ruthless author, but these past few chapters have been brutal. Oh god. I'm really scared to get to the ending of this book, if I'm being honest. Like, there's been so much death. So I'm really scared because I have like, I think only 100 pages left. I'm on page 518 right now. Guys, Rye went to go fight the villain himself. Oh my god, he should have run. He should have stayed in the palace until Kel came back. Why didn't he wait until Kel came back? He literally promised Kel, yes, I'll wait for you, I trust you. And no, he went out by himself to fight this thing. I know I said Rye could protect himself, but not against this thing. Rye has no magic, okay? He has no magic. magic. He's basically defenseless. All he can do is like swipe through this thing. It's like a shadow. He can't even cut it. What is he doing? They're back in London now, but so much has happened that they don't know about, and now Kel's finding out about it, and my heart hurts. And then Alucard stayed behind on the ship because, well, they only had like one rowing boat and 4 people couldn't fit on it, so he stayed behind because there's also like enemy ships near the shore, and he's like, if they get anywhere near the island, I'll attack them. But it's just like Alucard obviously can't fight like hundreds of people by himself, even though he is really powerful, but still, I'm so scared for everyone's lives right now. This trio, this fight scene, they're all willing to sacrifice their lives just to win, and so it's kind of like, oh, it's a race to the death, I guess. I'm just like, excuse me? Like right now, the key to defeating this villain is on the floor. It's just sitting on the floor, and the villain doesn't notice, and so they're all just trying to get to it. They're all just willing to die, okay? They're willing to die, and it's so scary because you don't know who's gonna die. One of them has to die though. That's inevitable. We are finally on the last part of this book. The fight scene ended. I will say it was slightly underwhelming, but I also really enjoyed it. Also very heart-pounding, but in a way I expected more, but I don't know what I was expecting. Wait, never mind. I guess none of them had to die to kill the villain. Why were the stakes so high then? I guess they were bleeding all over the place when they were fighting, but still, I thought one of them had to die. I guess I misunderstood. Oh, okay. One of them had to lose their powers to kill this villain. That makes more sense. I still don't understand why the stakes were so high, but okay. I'm so happy Ryan and Alucard's romance is getting a happy ending. They have suffered, okay? From the second book, they have suffered. When Alucard was introduced in the second book, they have gone through so much, and I'm so glad they're getting the happy ending they deserve. Okay, we just finished A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. I am very happy with that ending, actually. Kel being free and finally being able to go see the world with Lila, I am so happy about that, honestly. I think I'm gonna rate this a 4.75. For a while, I thought I was gonna rate it like a 4.25. It just kept lowering. And then I got to the ending, and I don't know, I'm like really happy right now. So yeah, 4.75. I like the second book better, but this one was really good, honestly. And I know V.E. Schwab has a new book that just came out, The Fragile Threads of Power. This came out like a couple months ago, I think, and I'm definitely gonna read this one along with her Villain series and The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I don't know if this one is set in the same world, but I am kind of hoping, but even if it isn't, still gonna read it. I'm happy that I finished this, but I'm also sad because now I won't have any more of this series to read. I think I'm gonna go to sleep. It's 2 a.m. right now. And tomorrow I'm gonna get started on The Raven King by Nora Sakovic. I am so excited. Honestly, so excited. But yeah, I'm gonna go take a shower and then go to sleep. I have to meet up with a friend tomorrow too, so I probably won't talk to you guys until maybe later in the night. So yeah, see you guys tomorrow. Okay, quick update. I am on page 84 of The Raven King by Nora Sakovic. So far, we're obviously continuing off from the first book because it was like a major cliffhanger in the first book. The team is like slowly coming together after the events of the ending. There's kind of like 2 halves to this team, and it's split down the middle. One side is semi-normal. I say semi-normal because all of these people are not normal. And then the other half is the crazy side. And so Neil is kind of in the middle. And so the semi-normal side of the team is hoping that since Neil is in the middle, he can kind of like bring the team together. And so far, I think it's working out pretty well. They seem to be getting closer, which I like reading about, honestly. And as crazy as Andrew is, he is kind of opening up Neil's doors and like giving Neil chances to talk to other people. I still ship them together, by the way. I don't know what's gonna happen with romance in this book, but I love Andrew and Neil together. As I get used to him, I feel like Andrew is getting not excessively less, but a bit less crazy. He's still crazy, if I'm being honest. I heard the main romance in here is a queer romance, so I can't wait to see how that turns out. I am seriously still shipping Neil with Andrew, and that's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, I'm gonna continue reading. Probably won't update you guys too much considering I am really enjoying myself, and so I just want to like sit here and continue enjoying myself. Not that I don't like talking to you guys, but when I really like a book, I just want to read. But yeah, if anything else interesting happens, I'll update you guys. Right now, they're heading to like this fancy formal banquet thing, whatever the hell you want to call it. And yeah, let's see how far I can get tonight. I know I said I wouldn't update you guys too much, but this dinner, this banquet is suffocating. Rico, Kevin's brother, the one who broke his left hand, is there because literally all of the famous XC teams are there. Like Like, this is a very big deal in this world, okay? Because Neil embarrassed Rico on national television, Rico is going after him, okay? And he's basically unearthed all of Neil's secrets, and like Neil is struggling right now. He is struggling, oh dear lord. Neil was told to keep his mouth shut after antagonizing Rico, but he couldn't do it, okay? And now Neil's going off, and I'm so happy because Rico needs to be put in his place no matter how famous he is. Like, someone needs to beat this man down, and Neil is doing a good job. Oh my god, Neil is such a mood. After absolutely destroying Rico, he's like, Dan, I said please, I tried to be nice. Because he was like, please just shut the F up and leave us alone. And so Neil's just trying to explain his actions to his team's captain, and he's like, Dan, I said please, I tried to be nice. It's so good. Holy crap, this dinner just got so much worse. It got so much worse. Holy crap, dear lord. This chapter it's giving me a migraine, okay? It's giving me a heart attack. So many things just happened in 2 seconds, and it's just like, I can't handle it. Let me catch up at least, please. Okay, I'm on page 110 of this book, and I think this is where I'm gonna leave you guys a bit more in the dark. I'm not used to reading vlogs, if you couldn't tell. This is only like, what, my 3rd one, and I am kind of trying to experiment how I want to film these reading vlogs. I think from now on what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you guys less updates in between the book, because I don't know, updating you guys every time something interesting happens, it kind of, I just want to read, if I'm being honest, and then maybe update you guys on my feelings, but maybe not every single event I find interesting in the book. Again, I'm still experimenting, so the formatting of my reading vlogs may change very frequently until I figure out what I actually want to do. I think I'm gonna plan to make my reading vlogs a bit shorter in the future, because updating you guys on every little thing is kind of exhausting while I'm simultaneously reading. I'm gonna leave you guys in the dark at page 110, and I'll tell you when I start the 3rd book in this series, but again, I might give you guys like less updates so that I can enjoy myself a bit more, because I genuinely just like reading. Again, I do like talking to you guys, but talking to you while reading at the same time can be a bit like mentally exhausting sometimes. So I don't know, I'll change the way I film these things in the future, but for now I think I might start filming these a bit differently. Yeah, leaving off on page 110 for tonight, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, I'm halfway through The Raven King. Well, sort of halfway, not really, close enough. I just wanted to update you guys while I'm still in the middle of the book before I head out for today. A lot of secrets are finally being revealed. We're finally getting to like get to know Neil's teammates, and Neil is finally getting to know his teammate. I also think they're finally hinting at some romance. Like, these books are kind of unpredictable at times because you don't actually know who Neil's love interest is even when you're halfway through the 2nd book. Like, you definitely have a guess. I have a guess. I'm hoping for Neil to get with a certain someone, but again, you don't actually know. But yeah, that's all for now. I'm gonna update you guys probably once I reach the end of this book, and then I'll let you know once I start the 3rd book in this series. I don't remember starting this yesterday. It feels like it's been so long. Oh my god. I'm gonna give this book another 5 out of 5. Don't question it at this point, okay? Don't question it. Okay, first off, let's start with the brighter side of things. I don't mean brighter as in good, because literally nothing good happened in this book. The romance is giving don't touch him vibes. That's the way I'm interpreting it, okay? It's literally the only bright side to this book. It's also feeding me those small moments, you know? Like with the romance, like you just become happy from the tiniest things, and that is literally the only thing I am happy about. Kevin and Neil's friendship was actually a lot more entertaining to read than I expected. Their friendship wasn't built on the best grounds, but it was built and I liked it. I know this is like a team sport and that Neil has this whole team that he got to know throughout this book, but if I'm being honest, found family was one of the last things I expected in this book, like the found family trope. Again, I liked reading that. That was also another good side to this book. Let's go to the bad side, okay? Why was the second half of this book so devastating? Sorry, I don't know what to think. I don't know what I just read. I do not feel like I started this book yesterday. I know what I read. I don't want to forget it. I just want to pretend it didn't happen. It was so devastating, okay? What happened to Andrew? If I could get 10 seconds with Nikki's parents and Drake, beat them. I swear to God, I'll beat them. I'd probably get beaten myself, but I'd attempt to beat them. I'd give it my best shot. You don't know who Nikki's parents or Drake are, but I do, and that's the only important thing. Also, the fact that this book is literally drugs. These books are drugs, okay? You can't stop. Even if it gets so devastating to the point where you want to stop, you can't stop. And then the ending, oh my God, the ending. Neil stepped into enemy territory. I'm not gonna be too thorough with that, but I'm so glad the author did a time skip of 3 weeks, and that's all I'm gonna say. And it kind of ended off on another cliffhanger. I don't know. Oh my God, I don't know what to think, but I seriously don't know why why I like these books, but 5 out of 5. Sorry, I'm just trying to process this book. That's why I'm speaking like so weirdly. I'm just like, I feel like I don't even know what I'm feeling. Oh my god. But yeah, that's basically all for The Raven King by Nora Sakavic. I loved it, but I hated it. It's a love-hate relationship, okay? More on the love side. The hate comes from me hating myself for liking this, okay? I'm gonna read The Kingsmen immediately because the second book did end on another cliffhanger like the first book did. I sent my cousin a picture of this cover, okay? And she said it looked like a sports manual. She's not wrong. Yeah, may I remind you, don't get into this series because it is literally the worst thing you could become addicted to. Yeah, no, sorry, I'm just trying to process my thoughts. That's why I'm talking so weirdly. It's just like I'm thinking of something else right now when I'm trying to talk, and so I'm not functioning properly. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna be thinking about this book all night. I'm not gonna be able to sleep, so that's great. But yeah, I'm gonna continue on to the third book, The Kingsmen. And yeah, once I get halfway, I'll update you guys again. Hopefully I'm functioning better, but I probably won't, considering this is technically the finale of this trilogy. Although I did hear Nora Sakavic is coming out with a book 3.5 and then a fourth book, but it's with a different main character, so I'm excited to see who it is. I haven't spoiled myself on that quite yet. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen obviously in this one. I'm scared for the ending, but also at the same time I know this is the last thing I should be thinking about, but I really hope the romance develops well. Seriously, every small romantic moment in the second book, even though the second book was so devastating, it was literally the one bit of joy I could find. Neil is literally the only person who can convince Andrew to say yes. Not that that was a good thing in one situation. He's literally the only one who can convince Andrew to do anything, and so their teammates notice, right? And they're questioning Neil, thinking, why is he so special? But it's just like, obviously the readers know, obviously I know, and I'm not sure I should be happy about it. Again, the romance is literally the last thing I should be thinking about. But yeah, continuing on to the third book, I'll update you guys once I get maybe to the middle, and yeah, see you. Okay, I'm nowhere near the middle of the book, but I wanted to count this as your guys' middle of the book update because if I'm being honest, I really just want to read. I know I keep saying that, but I really do just want to read this book and enjoy it as much as I can. So this is your guys' middle of the book update. So sorry, I'm kind of being cheap with you guys, but this is what you're gonna have to settle for. The beginning of this book, oh my god, the romance. I'm not sure you can really consider it romance yet, but there was an admittance of feelings, and that's what I'm happy about. It was so soon too. I didn't expect it to be like chapter 4 of this book. I expected it to be like maybe the middle, and again, I'm not even at the middle yet. So the fact that it happened so soon, I am actually really happy about, because now they're aware of one person's feelings for the other. And also I really do like Andrew and Neil's like exchange of secrets, because Neil doesn't really exchange secrets with anyone besides Kevin, because Kevin already knows everything, but Andrew doesn't obviously. So whenever Andrew is like, tell me a truth, Neil does, and in exchange Andrew also tells him a truth, and I really like reading that for some reason. The team sort of has like inner conflict going on. They're like in the middle of this really big argument, and it doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. And also Neil is trying to help out the twins, Andrew and Aaron. Yes, Andrew is a twin. I did not mention that before, but he is. And he's trying to help them out with their situation, if you want to call it that. They have like a really dark past that I probably shouldn't tell you guys about, because if you actually do want to read this for yourself, even though I keep saying don't, if you do read this, you'll probably want to figure that out for yourself. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't have much to say. Again, I'm only like a quarter way through this book, but I just want to keep reading, so I'm updating you guys now, and I'll update you again once I reach the end. But yeah, The Kingsmen by Nora Sakavic, going well so far. I'm really happy with it. Yeah, we'll see how this series ends. I'm really curious actually, because it doesn't seem like it's gonna end anytime soon, but obviously it is, because Nora Sakavic says this is the final book in this trilogy, and I know I said she's coming out with a fourth book with a different main character, so let's see how she wraps this one up. I just finished The Kingsmen by Nora Sakavic. 5 out of 5. This series was so good. First off, love Wymack. He's a great coach, and he's the best person alive, honestly. Well, I guess not really alive. He's a fictional character, but you know what I mean. Second, love the found family in this. I didn't expect to, but I really loved it. Love Neil and Andrew. That is minor spoilers, but I don't care. I love them so much. I will scream it from the damn rooftop. I love the characters' development in here, how Neil helped Kevin and how he also helped like Andrew and Aaron with their situation, and also just Neil surprising all of his teammates with literally everything. Let's just say some characters in here got what they deserved, and I'm so happy about that. So yeah, 5 out of 5. This was a great ending, and I can't wait for that fourth book. I am wondering though if the fourth book is gonna be like in like multiple POVs, if we're still gonna get the foxes, or if it's solely gonna be Jean's perspective. Yes, the fourth book is about Jean. I found that out through Tumblr, because that's literally the only place where Nora Sakavic posted it. Like, she said the Sunshine Court was about Jean and his healing journey, so I can't wait to see how that turns out. I seriously grew to love all of these characters so much. gosh, not all of them. I mean some of them, mostly the foxes. Like that first book made me like cautious of most of them, but then you grew to love them as you read the second book and then this third book, and how they all had each other's backs was so honestly heartwarming to read. But yeah, if you do read this series, beware, read the trigger warning. But if you do end up reading it and liking it, so glad. Please talk about it in the comments. Honestly, this was one of the best slow burns I've read in a while. Like slow burn romances, I was obsessed with it all throughout. I was just like, oh my god, I'm living. This is the reason why I breathe. This is the reason why I live. I'm now going to be searching for other series that have me as obsessed as like this trilogy did, because I fell into a rabbit hole that I didn't even know existed. Okay, I love this so much. This is probably one of my new all-time favorite series, along with This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab. I'm now going to be scavenging. I'm going to be hunting for a new series that has me as obsessed as this one did. But yeah, that's gonna be all for this video. I finished all 3 books I wanted to in the same month, so that's pretty accomplishing, I think. This reading month has been really good. Most of them have been 5 stars. I mean, I rarely read a book I don't like. Yeah, I don't know, if you read the All for the Game series by Nora Sakovic, please talk about it in the comments and what you liked about it, because I absolutely adore this series. It definitely is one of my new favorites. Oh, and before this video officially ends, I just wanted to let you guys know videos might become a bit more sparse now, because I am trying to focus more on school. I've never been that good at studying, but I am actually going to try, so videos might become a bit more sparse until I can figure out like how many videos I can film in advance for you guys weekly. Yeah, I'll still upload, but again, it might not be every single week that a video comes out. But yeah, bye.